Hey, what's up guys? Good morning here from the warm, sunny and humid climes from southern Thailand, and it's very humid today here. And it is only 7:20 in the morning, so I got my world famous towel here because I'm sweating a lot. Topic of today's video is dating Indonesian woman. Yes, finally I'm gonna shoot this video because I caught myself actually neglecting speaking about, first and foremost about my own experience in dating Indonesian women, but also the topic deserves actually more attention because it's highly underrated. Indonesia is highly underrated as a travel destination, I find, and also it's underrated when it comes to dating. Indonesia is a treasure house, in my opinion, not only when it comes to dating, but also when it comes to traveling. So yeah, dating Indonesian woman, I think, is or was in my case a fantastic experience. And in this video I want to explain to you why that was. But first of all, I would like to state or answer the question, if I'm being asked, Marcel, would you recommend to date Indonesian women? I would absolutely say yes, definitely yes. Go ahead. You will not regret it. I want to make a difference when it comes to dating Indonesian women. There's a difference of dating them outside of Indonesia and inside of Indonesia. This is my experience, and there are fundamental differences. So here's my story. When I worked in Hong Kong, some of you know the story already, how I got there and what I did there and how I lived there, and my dating experiences with Filipinas. My first dating experiences with Filipinas were in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a place where not only thousands, probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of young Filipinos live and work, but also many Indonesians, for that matter. They work there, they live there, they work there to earn money to send home to their families. They're supporting their families back home in Indonesia. And of course, if you are living in Hong Kong, if you are a single guy, then you will run into these women if you want or not. You will run into these women on the streets. Yeah, you will run into these women in the parks, especially on Sundays, because Sundays is the off day. And you will run into these women in the clubs, in the bars, in the discos and stuff, you know. So there is no way you actually can avoid that. This is the place I met my first Indonesian girlfriends, also in Hong Kong, because there is just an abundance of women in the city. But I'm pretty sure you have similar dynamics in Dubai, Qatar, in the Middle Eastern places. So in Hong Kong, yeah, I met my first Indonesian girlfriends, girls, you know, other women, and I learned a lot from them also. And the main difference I find is the way they behave, yeah, because when they're outside of Indonesia, they feel more free, and they also express it, yeah, the way they dress, the way they act, and also the way they behave, you know, the activities they do. Because I had an Indonesian girlfriend when I was in Hong Kong, and she told me a little bit, and she shared a little bit about her life back in Indonesia. She was a Muslim, and she told me that way back home she cannot all do these things she enjoys, or she did enjoy, while working in Hong Kong. That means, you know, going to a disco, going to the bars, dating boys, yeah, messing around, you know, having fun and this and that, doing all these things which she apparently couldn't do in Indonesia. She came from Surabaya, I believe. For those of you who are familiar with Indonesia, know what region I'm talking about. So So these Indonesian women, they enjoy, you have to look at the culture. The Indonesian culture is predominantly Muslim. Yeah, most of the Indonesian girls who work in Hong Kong, and I'm gonna stick with the Hong Kong example here because I live there. Most of the Indonesian girls or women who live in Hong Kong, they are Muslims. Yeah, but many Muslim girls, they're not show that in Hong Kong or in outside destinations. Actually, my girlfriend at the time, she was happy to not wear a hijab or the tudung, how they call it. You know, she didn't want to cover her head, and she didn't do it. And she also liked to dress up very sexy, you know, with a mini skirt and stuff like that. Not because she was a slut, or not because she was slutty, or not because her girlfriends were slutty. No, they just enjoyed to express themselves, to show what they have, their body, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So when you date Indonesian women in outside of Indonesia, long story short, you will have great fun, you will have great joy. These girls are just gorgeous, and you will have a lot of fun with them, you know, because they are not restricted like in Indonesia. Dating inside of Indonesia is a little bit different. Yeah? I also dated inside of Indonesia because I lived and worked there for more than 3 years actually. And when I count back, Indonesia is indeed the country where I spent most of my time when living and working in different Southeast Asian countries. And yeah, how do you meet Indonesian women in Indonesia? I talked about already how can you meet or how will you meet Indonesian women outside of Indonesia. For example, in Hong Kong, I mentioned that already, it's super easy. You don't need to worry at all. Yeah? These girls are very open-minded, they want contact, they are interested in foreigners also. I will go into the details a little bit later. So there is no issue at all, for example in Hong Kong, but I also assume in other destinations like Dubai, if you want to hook up with an Indonesian girl, they are very open, they want to enjoy their life, so go for it. Inside of Indonesia, of course, it's different. Also, I have to say, I did from time to time use online dating sites, I remember, but not to that extent like in the Philippines. Yeah? But actually there is no need to really subscribe or to enroll to an online dating site, because nowadays anyway I don't recommend it, especially when it comes to the Philippines anyway. But in Indonesia I found the dynamics a little bit different. I think the girls on the dating sites are more trustworthy. Yeah. Whereas in the Philippines you can say between, let's say, 80-90% of the girls who are on the online dating sites have maybe sketchy intentions in mind. And in Indonesia it seems to be a different case. This is just my experience. I met girls online, I dated them also afterwards, and I found them very credible. Anyway, but in Indonesia you don't need to use online dating sites also, because you can find plenty of women also in other places like the malls, on the streets. But the best thing for you would be if you really live there or work, you know. If you have a job, if you work like me, like I did for a big company, you know, you have like 99% of your colleagues are Indonesian, they are local Indonesians, and this is the best way actually to meet decent, good women. And this is also what happened to me. I worked in Medan on Sumatra many years ago, and this is actually where I found my last Indonesian girlfriend. I met her, we worked together, and but she was not a Muslim, she was a Christian. Yeah, Indonesians are not only Muslims, they're also Christians, especially on the island of Sumatra. But I also dated Muslim girls, and they didn't really care if I'm a Christian or not, you know. They're very open-minded to date foreigners. And when you are in Indonesia, you will also see that, you know. Indonesia is a very open country, very, very tolerant, even though it is the biggest Muslim community, the biggest Muslim country. But you can, when you walk around Jakarta, you can find like 3 types of girls. Let's say you have 3 girlfriends walking together down the street. Yeah. The one on the left side is dressed up in mini skirt and stuff. The one in the middle is dressed up like maybe business casual, and then the right one is wearing Muslim clothes, yeah, with a hijab. And this is completely normal in Indonesia. Yeah. Nobody gives you a bad look, or they don't even look bad upon themselves among each other. Yeah. So this is what I really like with Indonesia. And again, I repeat myself, but I will say it again, the women are very open, even the Muslim women. I dated Muslim women in Medan. Most of the Muslim women I dated, they never wore any Muslim clothes. Yeah, that was not an issue at all. There's no issue anyway. But now let's talk about the qualities a little bit. The qualities of Indonesian women and why you should date them, you know. Yeah, the biggest and most important quality is definitely for me that these women are still very, very feminine. Yeah, these women, they want to be women and they want to show it, they want to express it, and this is also the way they understand their role when it comes to relationship. An Indonesian woman, even today in the year of 2023, clearly understands and perceives herself as a woman who plays a certain role when it comes to relationship. Indonesian women, also modern Indonesian women for that matter, they want to get married, they want to have children, and they want to settle down. They are family oriented. And that at the end of the day was my big issue, my big problem, because my last Indonesian girlfriend, actually I broke up with her last year, in the spring of last year. We were together for many years actually, on and off kind of, but I knew her since 2014. So it was a process over a period of 9 years. But long story short, I was not ready to commit. I didn't want to start my own family, and I didn't want to settle, also because of my job and maybe other reasons also, but she wanted to settle down. She communicated that very clearly to me. I was 100% aware of her intentions, yeah. So there's no excuse from my side. So that was basically the breaking point for me. And I completely understand it. I understood her also, but at that time, there was no way for me to continue this relationship because I didn't want to commit. I didn't want to start my own family yet. And she was, of course, disappointed. She pushed also. She pushed, I remember. And it made me feel uncomfortable. And then at the end of the day, I had to break it up, you know. And most of the Indonesian women, they think the same, they feel the same. Eventually, they want to get married and have children and settle. They are very family oriented, okay? I will not go into the physicalities here. Of course, Indonesian women are very beautiful in my opinion, yeah. Indonesia is a big country, very diverse, you know. The nation is only like 70 plus years old. It's actually a conglomerate of many different ethnic tribes and different ethnicities and stuff. Actually, you cannot really call this a homogeneous nation. Yeah, that is very, very diverse. So women on Sumatra look a little bit different than women in Java or in Bali. But overall, they are gorgeous, they are beautiful, you know, and I think there is some woman for every taste, you know. Yeah, I mentioned this already. Indonesian women are very decent and reputable also. This is very important for them. What I also found most of the, or actually all Indonesian women I dated, and I dated probably, I have to calculate, it's very difficult, but when I say dating, meaning I mean that I dated them, you know, it doesn't mean that all these girls were my girlfriends, you know, but probably between 10 and 20 different Indonesian girls. And then in Hong Kong it was even probably a few dozen. I dated a few over the years. I probably dated 2 or 3 or even 4 dozen Indonesian women. So this is over a course of, let's say, 10 years, 14 years, 15 years. Okay, that's a long time. So it's not uncommon. I'm a single guy, you know. So when you live in Southeast Asia, in different countries as a single guy, you know, you date, you run into women, you know, you cannot avoid it. And I found these Indonesian women, they all have jobs, you know. I think they have a different work ethic than other Southeast Asian women. Yeah, this is just my impression and also my experience. This is my perception. Yeah, I will not name the other countries here now, but that's actually the good news. Yeah, the Indonesians seem to have a different work ethic. All the girls I had, they had jobs, and also they're very educated, right? In my opinion, Indonesian women are very proud, especially of their country. Yeah, they are very proud to be Indonesians, and every year when they celebrate their Merdeka, their Independence Day, I believe it is in August. I hope I was right. They are celebrating everywhere, at work, in privacy, in their family. So very, very proud people. I mentioned already, they are very open-minded and very tolerant when it comes, also when it comes to relationship. And let's talk about sex a little bit here, because this is also included in my experience. I can tell you my dating experience in Hong Kong. I just can say these girls are wild. Yeah, they are going crazy in the bedroom. That I can tell you. Unlike other Southeast Asian women from other countries I have met. That was a fantastic experience. The Indonesian women are really wild. This is all I want to say now. And the rest is for you to discover. But they are very open-minded also when it comes to these things. You know, they are not shy at all. And that's why I also say it was great fun to deal with them, okay? To hang around with them, to have fun with them. And once they caught fire, you have to watch out, you know. So that's why they are great women, because also, you know, the sex is included in the relationship and other things. So that's why I mentioned this here also, okay? Again, it seems to be a little bit paradoxical because, yeah, many people think Indonesia, because Indonesia is a Muslim country, everything is to be is conservative in this country, or forbidden, or on the surface, yes, you know, but also these women, they have desires, they have wants, they have needs. These needs need to be met. And way back home in Indonesia, especially when you come from the province, and most of the girls coming from rather poor provinces, you know, it's a different dynamic there. It's very conservative. And it's no wonder when these girls reach Hong Kong or Dubai that they kind of freak out and they enjoy their life, you know, they express themselves, they meet different people, they start to date foreigners, they test the waters, they enjoy themselves, they enjoy the foreigners, they enjoy their life, they enjoy the party and everything. So it all kind of breaks loose a little bit, and I think it's just understandable, right? I mean, if your needs and desires are suppressed all the time by culture and society, or by parents, or I don't know, school, then yeah, the point will come when you have to relieve that pressure, right? Indonesian women are definitely very, very joyful. They like to laugh and make jokes. So this is very similar to other Southeast Asian countries. And I must also confirm, and I'm happy to report, that they are very loyal women and very caring also. So again, very feminine traits. And Indonesian women are also mature. Yeah, they are mature. The ones I met, they are, because they had jobs. You know, talking about Hong Kong again, all these Indonesian girls who work there, yeah, on one side they want to have fun and this and that, but on the other side, the fact that they are there working in Hong Kong, you know, taking this responsibility and also sacrificing their time to work very hard to earn money for their family, is already a sign of great maturity, in my opinion. Yeah. And if you know a little bit about the circumstances in Hong Kong and how these maids are actually being treated sometimes, then you don't want to know, you know. You start to have even more respect. So yeah, therefore these women are, in my opinion, very mature. I also can confirm this by working with them together. I'm a chef. I was leading large kitchen teams, and I remember even my kitchen trainees who were barely 18 years old were already very mature, very responsible. And I always like to work with female staff. I prefer female staff over male staff, because in Indonesia, not because I'm a man, but the female staff really is more responsible. The boys are a little bit more, you know, if I'm not coming today, then maybe I come tomorrow. They're a little bit more lazy. I think that has to do with the culture. I know that Indonesian boys are being pampered by their parents more, and the girls, you know, they have to start early to help in the household, start to learn how to cook, how to clean the home, and all this kind of stuff, you know, very so-called feminine jobs, right? So they learned it already when they are little girls. So I think they develop already a greater level of maturity and responsibility, and this is actually what you want in a woman later. Yeah? That's why when you date Indonesian women and you really meet a good one, and there are many good ones out there, you automatically will also date a mature woman, a woman who is responsible, who is caring, yeah, and who probably already endured a certain level of sacrifice in her life, this or the other way. Yeah. Because even inside Indonesia, many folks are traveling around, you know, from the poor provinces into Jakarta, into Batam, into other areas, just to make money and to support their family. But also Indonesian women are very traditional. Yeah? They're very modern, open-minded, but also very traditional. They're very much aware of the culture. They are proud of their culture. They celebrate their culture. They show it. You know, there are certain festivals, different festivals. So they're much more connected with their own culture and heritage than many Western countries are. You know, and I like that. I find it beautiful. I find it fascinating. Yeah. So, where to meet Indonesian women? Yeah, you can meet them online, of course, but I do not recommend it. Yeah, you can travel to Indonesia or find a job there if you can, live and work there. Then, of course, you will meet Indonesians automatically. Or you can travel to certain destinations where you know there are many Indonesian domestic helpers or expatriates, and then you will have no issues to date and find and to hook up with Indonesian women. Yeah. Again, what's the moral of the story? Just to close this video for today, Indonesia is a very underrated country. I mentioned this already in the beginning. It is a treasure house in terms of tourists, traveling, but also in terms of dating. I am surprised because Indonesia is such a big country. It's so huge. It consists of, I believe, over 17,000 different islands. If you want to compare this to the Philippines only consists of, I think, 7,700 islands. And but Indonesia is not overrun like the Philippines or like Thailand. Yeah, there are tourists coming to Indonesia, but again, I find it highly underrated. Except Bali, for example. Bali is a little bit a different situation, but it is definitely Indonesia is definitely worth exploring, not only in terms of dating and women, but in terms of the culture, the heritage, the tourists, attractions, the beaches. So yeah, you see already I'm promoting Indonesia here quite a lot in this video, but I wanted to take also the opportunity because yeah, I barely mentioned the Indonesian women in my past videos, right? So with this video I wanted to do it, and I might continue with certain other topics when it comes to Indonesian dating. So I will pick maybe a specific topic and will elaborate a little bit more if you wish to do it, if you wish me to do it. So I'm looking forward to your comments. What do you think about Indonesia? What do you think about Indonesian women? Are you married to an Indonesian woman? Are you married, or do you have a girlfriend? Are you living currently in Indonesia, or have you never been there? Yeah, just this morning before I started to record this video, another viewer sent me a comment on one of my latest videos and saying that he yeah, is now ready to getting divorced from his Filipina. So I don't know. Maybe he should try Indonesia. Yeah. So terima kasih. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and I see you hopefully next week when I'm back with a new video. Take care, guys. Bye bye.